All right, welcome to another episode of Brothers Arguing Sports. I'm Zav. Across the Zoom is TD. And in light of the news that ESPN is letting go about 20 on-air personalities trying to save millions of dollars, and included in that is Jeff Van Gundy, who's been with ESPN for and slash ABC for 16 years, and he's been calling the NBA Finals. So the question today is, now that he's been fired, will you miss Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Breen, Mark Jackson? That team is now broken up. And TD, will you miss Jeff Van Gundy calling the finals?
Big time. Big time. That was a shocker to see him go. I mean, he's part of the framework of the NBA Finals. I mean, that's what the NBA Finals is. It's Breen, Jackson, and Van Gundy. You know, I'm not surprised to see a lot of the other people go at ESPN, but Van Gundy I'm gonna miss. But you know what it is at the end of the day, I think. Even this finals, I kind of noticed it too. They were grouches. Even Jackson and Van Gundy were grouches. I remember Jackson was like, "What has happened to the game I love?" And Van Gundy is extra curmudgeon. I love him. I love the politically incorrectness. But even I was thinking during the finals, not in a bad way. I'm like, man, these guys just really don't care. These guys are sitting on their throne and they have zero fear. It even could have come off as respect for their superiors because they're just sitting there groaning and grumbling. So when it happened, I could kind of see why they fired him, but really disappointed and really shocked. And I think the NBA community is generally going to be unhappy too, because that's what we love about him. We love the political incorrectness. We love just that we love the trio, and they're great together. Breen is the consummate gentleman. Van Gundy is just kind of like the weirdo, and Jackson is a kind of button down guy, but he loved Van Gundy, and that's what made it so great. They laughed and joked. So really gonna miss him. And you know what? This only bears badly knowing ESPN who they're gonna replace him with. And we love the finals. I love the finals. You know what I spent last night doing? Watching game one of the 99 finals. The
That was the
big
Spurs Knicks, right?
Spurs Knicks.
Oh, they
I just
killed them
wanted to
game one.
oh man, what a finals. But still you watch these and those are the voices. It's like these things are they're part of our lives, and it's a shocking move. Okay, wow, he didn't toe the company line. Just crazy though. Makes me respect him that much more.
Well, I don't think it was to do so much with his attitude. I think number one, he's been around such a long time, like I mentioned, 16 years calling the finals, that his salary's gone up and they wanted to cut a lot of these salaries. So I personally think that was the main reason why they fired him. Because if you look, they're getting rid of a lot of these big personalities. But I think
Kellerman's gone.
Jalen Rose, Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, I think they're looking at guys with salaries who they don't think are move the needle. Because you look, Pat McAfee has a huge audience. They're bringing him on. Who knows with Shannon Sharpe? I think they're saying if we're going to spend millions on these analysts, the millions we want to spend are on people we know who can move the needle.
Well, Zav, you know who probably influenced that?
Who?
Mad Dog. Zav, they get Mad Dog. They pay him, I don't know, 5, 10 grand an episode, and the ratings skyrocket. And they're sitting there going, "We're paying Mad Dog 10 grand an episode, and we're getting all these ratings. We're
How do you know
paying."
it's 10 grand an episode? I haven't heard anything where they disclose that information.
Yeah, he said it. Doggy said it somewhere. I read it somewhere. It's around 10 grand an episode.
Okay.
But my point is, ESPN is like, man, we're paying him 10 grand, and it's like it's appointment TV on Wednesday, and they're like, we're paying these other guys like
You're talking about
Jay
first take.
Will. We're paying these other guys annual salaries, and I think they like the model of you pay the JJ Redick per episode, or you pay the Mad Dog, and you kind of
You get a feel for them and see if they move the needle. So, well, anyway, to answer the question, I agree with you. I think this is a huge loss. And where I agree with you also is where you talked about the replacement. And I'm reading here, this is Marchand from New York Post. The early rumors of replacements are JJ Redick, Doris Burke, Richard Jefferson, or Doc Rivers. Now, let me just say, all those people obviously know basketball, but this is what they're missing. What makes that trio so good is their chemistry. They rip on each other so much. And the reason why they have chemistry, they've known each other forever. Mike Breen has been doing Knicks games on the radio since 91, TV since 97. Van Gundy was an assistant on the Knicks since 89 and obviously head coach from 96 to 2002. Mark Jackson was rookie of the year. All right, he came in 87 to 92 was with the Knicks and then played for Van Gundy in 2001, 2002. My point is these people have known each other since either late 80s or early 90s, and they're so comfortable with each other, and there's chemistry. They naturally laugh. They naturally make fun of each other. And you can't, yes, JJ Redick knows basketball. Richard Jefferson knows basketball. Doris Burke knows basketball, but are they going to rip on each other in such a natural way and make it funny? I don't think so. So I think it's a huge loss because ESPN is underestimating chemistry.
And they're also underestimating the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
You have no ideas of how hated like Doris Burke and Malika Andrews are. All you got to do is check Twitter whenever they're doing anything ESPN. Like Zav, Malika Andrews gets killed for the draft. Doris Burke gets killed for like.
But you like Doris Burke too. You both.
I don't like her. I don't like her.
I think she's good. Well, I mean, she's
Stop,
not.
stop.
She doesn't entertain,
Stop,
but she knows
stop.
the NBA.
Here's my point. All postseason, Lakers Nuggets. You know who got them? The A team, the big boys, the Van Gundy team with Jackson and Breen. You know who gets like the Grizzlies games early on? The JJs, the Dorises,
it's the seniority too, though, TD. It's seniority.
It's understood though that the big boys get the big games. When they were attributing Breen, they were all saying, "I know it's a big game when Breen shows up in the building," you know. And
the player said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And vice versa when you see Richard Jefferson and JJ Redick.
Yeah, but TD, they're also younger. I think they're gonna have fine careers. I think they're both good at TV. You're missing seniority. I mean, Van Gundy's in his 60s. Breen is in their 60s. Before Breen, it was Marv Albert. I never thought anyone would replace Marv Albert. He used to say, yes, but now it's bang with Breen. My point is each generation, you're going to be shocked to know in 10 years from now or 15 years, Breen's going to be an afterthought, just like Marv Albert became an afterthought. That's the way these things work. But I agree, though.
Redick, I don't think it's a salary dump like you think it is. You salary dump shows at 3 p.m. like Kellerman's boxing show. That I understand. But this is the NBA Finals.
I agree with you.
This is a major decision. I think it was personal. It was to go after a head of a snake like Jeff Van Gundy. I think they just hated his insubordination and his sort of maverick attitude on air.
I think that has something to do with it as well. I agree with that. Because there's so much money involved with the NBA TV and the finals. So I agree.
That's probably it. Yeah. He is a grouch. He's always criticizing the refs, he's criticizing the players.
But he does it in a joking way, I think,
Zab, I love it, but even I watching this year, I'm like, this guy is a grouch. Now, I like it, but even I was like, the thought entered my head like, his bosses can't be liking this because he's criticizing the league.
I agree.
He's criticizing the refs. He's criticizing the players. Like, oh, they're all floppers. And
Yep,
even
I
Mark
agree.
Jackson's like, what happened to the game I love? They're criticizing the very thing that they're trying to protect, the league, the players, the game.
Yeah, but TD, who's the most valuable prized analyst in basketball? And you could argue say probably in sports.
Yeah, it's Barkley.
It's Barkley, and Barkley criticizes.
Yeah, true.
And TD, they got mad. Remember Charles Barkley about his? He used to make fun of women from San Antonio. They told him to stop doing that. My point is, but they know it's good TV. So
I guess ESPN, maybe TNT is more of a rogue. Isn't TNT cable? Oh no, so is ESPN.
yeah,
It's all cable.
that's why I think I just don't. I don't think they care as. I personally think it's a. I think they think he's replaceable. And or but I mean, who knows? It might be his product as well that they want a younger guy like Reddick or Jefferson or Burke, a woman. Who knows? Um, but I think it's a big loss. I my big takeaway is they're undervaluing chemistry. Those three
I
have natural chemistry, and they're underestimating that.
I completely agree. And also the familiarity.
Yeah,
You know it's NBA Finals when you hear the three voices. It will be missed.
it will be missed. All right. Have a good weekend, July 4th, and we'll be back next week with more episodes, baseball, basketball, and media. Take care.
All right.